here. I just logged in. I logged out hours ago, and I just logged in after a patch, and I'm dead. So let's see what happens here. And I logged out in safety because I was up above. Yeah, see here. I have no ammo. I have no sword, no guns. 2, 3, 4, 5 guns gone. My pickaxe gone. My axe gone. My climbing pick gone. Honey gone. I had everything full up. And I logged out on top of the mountain up here. And I logged back in. And so anyhow, this is what you can come to expect from playing the official servers of Atlas. You can take care of things to the best of your ability, and the game will literally tear down all the hard work that you do. Um, it's endless, and as much as I try to stay positive on this channel and promote things in a good way, um, it is at times very much a nightmare trying to keep up with all the bugs that destroy what you work so hard to build up. Uh, You know, don't make any mistake. Atlas is a game of grind, 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 grind. And when you're annoyed with that, you're gonna grind some more. And then it would be one thing if you could get it. Like, look here. Here's a lion, right? And here's a wolf. And over here we have 2 bears, right? And the whole structure here, right? It would be one thing if you could build it and it would stay put. Okay. But what happens is bugs end up destroying things. Constant bugs end up destroying things. And so what you do is you spend a lot of your time, you log back on. Like right now, I just logged back on. And now I have to go rebuild all of this stuff. And I'm not spec to build this stuff. This is actually why my buddy left the game earlier today. Because he had a similar issue where he had lost all of his stuff. And he had no way to get it back because we're not spec to be able to have all that stuff. And so now you have to wait until you can respec. So now your respecs are spent on trying to clean up the previous work you had already done. And then when that's done, you got to respec back the way that you're supposed to be in the norm. And these pets, like when I logged back in before, they were down through the floor, like practically drowning in the water. And so I had to, if you can't tell, it's water. So I had to go back down under, call them, bring them around. And here's a sheep. This sheep right here, it's not supposed to be here. It's supposed to be upstairs, where the rest of the sheep are. But what happens is the game will throw your animals all over the place. So you have to spend hours trying to, and I don't mean hours in one shot. I mean hours over, if you're logging in and out during the week or a few weeks, you're going to spend several hours cleaning up your pets. Cleaning up your tames. I should say your tames, yeah. And so now I log in. Every single thing is gone. Let's see what I have here for backup. Oh, look. I have pieces of armor. I have one axe. I have no... Okay, there's a pick. Sickle. Okay. I have a base set of tools here I can use. I try to keep backups, guys. You can see here I have 2 shovels. Guess what? the second shovel is a backup because all kinds of bugs happen in this game. Um, and so it's not really, I'm not trying to tear Atlas down, but the reality of Atlas is it has got so many bugs in it that you are going to fight bugs endlessly the entire time you play it. And so that's the biggest problem with Atlas right now, is it is riddled with bugs. Oh, dude logged in. That's funny. This guy hasn't logged in forever, so I just put him in a cage. I figured that would keep us safe. He's not a part of the company, and he's in our place, and so I just keep him in there. If he logs in, I'll let him out, but I never see him. So, yeah, anyways, that's what Atlas is about, guys. Countless hours, like y'all can't even... The number of hours we have spent cleaning things up is staggering. Staggering. Okay, we just spend countless hours cleaning things up that we'd already done. Earlier today, like several hours ago, when I was, before I'd logged off, there's our brig over there, right? So I see a guy standing on the hill because I'm way over here doing something. So then I come out and I look at the brig. Oh, I lost my spyglass too. I was like, wait a minute, I carry a spyglass. And so, and I look over there and it's one of our crewmen standing on the edge of the rock over there. So I go over there. Our entire crew is standing off the ship on the edge of the mountain. And like one or two of them's like punching out a turtle that's doing nothing, but all the rest are just standing around on the edge of the mountain right there. Many of them in the water right there. And like several of them weren't even set to do that. They were set on neutral, set on passive. Some of them were set on stations like sails. Doesn't matter. The entire game, the bugs that are in this, just rip them off, place them on the mountain, and yeah. So it's a nightmare, guys. I think my biggest issue is you spend money on this and you expect it to work. And it is an early access, but early access game titles, they always vary. Some are decent and kind of okay for the public to use, and others are pretty much alpha state and a nightmare. Atlas looks good visually. It's got a lot of great systems. It's got a great foundation to work upon, but it is absolutely a minefield of bugs. And so, yeah, guys, I'm generally a very patient person, a very understanding person, and it's wearing me thin on how many times we have had to fix things, how many times we log in and there's an animal or a person through the floor, and we got to rip up all the floor and then move all the crafting stations. That's actually why we did have crafting stations all the way along here. All the way along here. And now we don't. I totally changed all of it because of bugs. We've had to tear the crafting stations out many times. See, right here is Callie. She logged out. Usually she'll log out by a crafting station. We had to stop doing that because when you log out and a patch goes in, you come back, you're probably going to be stuck in the floor. And so you have to tear the floor out to get out of there. And you're like, well, why don't you just die and then come back and pick stuff up? Well, you would, except your body goes down through the floor too when you die. And so you lose all your stuff. And the stuff is what takes a great deal of time and the proper respec in order to use. Okay? So, yeah, it's pretty bad. You're combating bug after bug after bug after bug after bug. And that's not even the gameplay, guys. That's not even the challenge of the mobs and the treasure maps and the sailing and all the different hazards out there that you gotta take on when you're out there. It's a tough thing to consider. It's an early access, but you don't really imagine that it's going to be this bad. You don't actually think you're going to spend this many hours trying to go back and fix everything. So if you're wondering why so many people are raging on Atlas, this is a whole big part of why. The bugs are just destroying the potential that the game otherwise has. If it wasn't for the bugs, like, I would be thrilled with this title. Okay, I mean, it is. I love the building and the sailing and the climbing and the gliders and a lot of the systems that are in it have great starts. Okay, they're far from finished. Um, the crafting could be a lot better. The tames could be a lot better. You know, there's so many areas of the game that could be improved upon, but their foundation that they have is really good. It's just the bugs, the constant bugs, that is destroying the experience in this title. So maybe, guys, what I would recommend someone that's interested in it, go get into something else. And I'm serious. There are other things I'm actually interested in that I've been considering, and come back to it in 6 months. Come back to it in a year, if it's even still alive. A lot of people are already on private servers because they don't like the way the official servers are being run. What I've seen is a lot of times you'll find a way to do something and then you come back in and it's been totally patched out and you'd think it'd be better because it's been patched, but in several cases it's actually worse. I give you an example just for those that are seeking that example. Tames. Tames used to have 50% more health. Okay, they used to do more damage. You know what tames are good for now? They're good for mounts and for being pack mules to haul stuff every now and again, depending on which one you get. These two here, they're nothing more than reskinned mounts. That's it. Different audio, different reskin mounts. Because if you look, this is Nala. She's 36. She's got a level on her. She's got 237 weight. Okay, this is a lion that can barely carry a rider with that kind of weight. And it was worse than that. We've put tons of points in this weight. Okay, it was worse than that. And so this is, like, Nala's clearly not going to carry much of anything, but she's a mount to ride. She's quick. But she's not much quicker, or she's very similar to the wolf. And the wolf, see here, we got his weight over 250. So we started bumping health now. Because he's not going to carry a whole lot, ever. Okay? And he's not really faster than the lion. I mean, they're pretty much the same as far as I can tell. But these guys over here, the bears are different. Okay? The bears, they're still quick as mounts. They still hit well. Okay? They start with more health, but the bears can carry a lot more. So they're helpful with their weight. Okay? Like, he's got some stuff on him now. He needs cleaned out. But you're not going to go into combat a whole lot with them unless you're fighting just lobby stuff. At least not at this level. At this level, they're nothing more than mounts to ride, and they can help carry a little bit. They're not really going to be like a combat buddy. You couldn't dump tons of hours into the tame, and I do mean a lot, between leveling and catching them and feeding them and taking care of them, breeding them. Okay, just loads of hours you can do doing that. And you can lose them inside of 30 seconds in a fight if you just accidentally bump something in the woods, like in a previous video with that alpha bull. There's like, I killed an alpha snake earlier today. And even the regular ones, if you get like too many of them on you, like if you go to attack a boar and you get like 3 or 4 boars on in the area, they can jack you up pretty good. Sometimes your best option is just run. And you would think that they're wild animals. They're out in the wild all the time, that they could handle themselves. But sometimes it seems that now they're so much softer and squishier that, like, you don't want to go into combat with them because you put so much work into them that you don't want to ruin all that. And so that's kind of an example of some of the stuff that was supposedly patched to be better, and now it's worse. So they're dealing with trying to balance things and fix the bugs. At least I would hope they are. I don't know what kind of size of team they have. You see, that's the thing on the player's side, is we have no idea what they are actually doing to make it better. Do they have one person working on it? 2 people? And do they have to divide their time between bugs and balances and additions into the game? Or, you know, do they have a team of people that's like 10, 12, 20 people? You know, we don't know. We know what the player knows is we are fighting like crazy day in and day out with these bugs. So what I would recommend, guys, and I said it before, Wait. Seriously, wait. After they get things polished, they get the AI fixed, which needs some big help still on your tames. There's still options in there. A tame should be able to just defend themselves. Okay, like not really like a sentry that's going to run after something. Right now, if you put your tame on aggressive, they can actually spot something and go run after it endlessly, and you'll never catch your tame. Okay, they'll run after it, and they'll probably end up dying out in the wilderness because they have no leash range. Okay, and there's no setting to just set to defend themselves. You can put it in neutral, and you can put their attack range on lowest, okay, so that they're not going after anything. But there's no way to just set your tame on defend. Okay, that means hold the ground they have and just defend it. You know, within a small circle or a medium circle or a large circle or anything like that. It's not in here. And so you fight with your tame between switching them between aggressive and switching them to passive. Passively so they don't attack the wrong targets, and aggressive so they kill all the little petty targets, and hope that they don't run off when you dismount off of them and go chase down a rabbit or something, or a turtle or whatever annoyed them at the time. And, you know, I'm not going to go much farther into this one. This was just to show you guys that Atlas has got a long list of problems. Even at early access, 25, 30 bucks, it's not worth it. And it's not worth it because the quality is poor. It's too poor. The bugs have destroyed the quality of the game. And then you have to deal with, even if all the bugs are gone, you still have to deal with their balance issues. Balancing things that you might think are, or they might think is good. However, the way it impacts the player in a world that is pretty much hardcore everywhere. Okay, look at here. It says non-hardcore mode. The entire game is hardcore. Okay, the grind is hardcore. The survival rate is hardcore. Okay, the risks and stuff you take out there, hours and hours and hours on some of the things you do, and you can lose it in 30 seconds. That's hardcore. Okay, so even the way they label things here is totally broken. It's go play another title for about 6 months, and then come back and check it out and see if it's any good. That's why people are ticked about Atlas. If they're not raging over being someone offending them with a hate crime online, because that's what the PvP server is about, then it is riddled with bugs in the PvE server. And so there's your battle. You know, you can fight haters on the PvP server, or you can fight the bugs on the PvE server. And then if you find a way that something works, so that you find a way that you can finally, like tame. I was trying to tame earlier, and I swear, like an admin or somebody, a game master behind the scenes was griefing me, because every time I turned around, I was coming up against an impossible odd situation. And that's not how... Here's the thing, guys. I can go set up a single-player server, okay? Or I can go jump on other people's servers, right? And I can go off in the wilderness, and I never run into these situations. Never. But I come on the official, and it's non-stop impossible situation after impossible situation after impossible situation. So I've come to believe that there is an admin team back there that has the ability to grief players at will if they like, you know, if they want to. And so it is just, go find something else, y'all, seriously. Graphically, it looks great. Or set up a single-player server where they can't mess with it. And, you know, deal with the bugs yourself. It's got a lot to offer in its base state like this, but it's certainly not stable, and you're going to spend far too much time fighting with the bugs. And so go do something else. You know, go play a similar game that isn't nearly as bad. I just seen another one that just dropped that's very similar to Ark and Atlas and Conan. I forget the name of it, but there's others out there. And what's funny is I've built all this in a lawless region because all the claim land is taken. You're lucky to get a sliver out there now, and it's only a few weeks after it drops. So it's kind of like being in a card game where the hand has been dealt, and you got to kind of deal with what you're working with. You know, you got to work with what you've been dealt. And so now this is what a lot of us have is, we have to uh, work with the hand we've been dealt. Um, I kind of like there's several things in here, but sometimes people don't like hearing about the bugs of Atlas and the struggles that players have. I seen one video where someone was actually making a case that you can't say anything negative or you're hating on the game. Unfortunately, you must be able to share the reality of what's happening on the official servers, and the reality is a nightmare level of bugs. That you'll fight the bugs more than you will the rest of the game and the players. At this point right now, the bugs are the greatest challenge to even stay connected to the game. All right, y'all. I think anyone who has played Atlas will agree. I have a lot of hours into this, doing a lot of variety of things. Sometimes in my life I have a lot of hours I can do this, and other times I have no time whatsoever. And so right now I have some time, and so this is what I've been doing with it. And so I can tell you in depth, of a huge variety of the systems in Atlas and the bugs that are here, because I've been out here for, more hours than most people would even think that could you put into a game. So yeah, it's pretty broken. They're working on it. I hope it gets better, but then it's like even after they get the bugs gone, you still have to deal with these quote unquote, these balances that are supposed to make things better, and in some cases what we've already seen is their balances are so radical in the wrong direction that they make things worse. Instead of taking small steps, they take huge steps. And those huge steps break things even more. So now you're fighting with the balance issues and the bugs, and y'all save your sanity. It looks great, but don't get into it deep, or just stay away from it. Take your 25, 30 bucks. The game would be worth 60 if the bugs and stuff were out of it, and DMs and stuff behind the scenes weren't griefing players. Yeah, it's like my wife said, it's a fun game when you're not fighting the bugs. Okay, I mean the challenges that are out here are more than adequate. Okay, they are hardcore set as far as how difficult they are. Okay, so but without that, in the state it's in, it's a shell of a game because of just the state it's in. They just gotta, they need more time. They probably need 6 months to a year to get some of this stuff better. But I will say this right here: our server ping has gotten better. Our main server it was like 160, 170, 180. Now it's, what do we got here? We have 52 people on. It's 120, 130. So a lot of times now I've seen it down in like 60, 70, 80, which is what I'm used to in most games. So, alright, y'all. I know some people won't like the reality of what I've shared. I would say if you're not experiencing that, you're probably not in game enough to realize it, to experience it. I have a galleon out back here. Like, I'm scared to put crew on it. Like, seriously. 52 cannons, plus all the sails and stuff, and that's if you don't add any more. I'm scared to put crew on it because of all the problems we've had with crew on our brig. Because of just, I don't know if it's servers are getting overloaded and they can't handle the load that the clients are putting on them, or if the code just needs cleaned up more, or if it's just, bugs in the code that just need to be fixed. Alright, y'all. This is the reality of what playing Atlas is like. You see a lot of the other ones. You can see it can be fun. But the backside in between the fun is fighting with the bugs and the balances and whatnot. So, save your sanity. Go do something else for 6 months or a year and come back to it and see what state it's in. It needs a lot of work. It's not ready for full-time public consumption. Don't even get me started on the PvP server and all the balance issues that thing has, all the things that are broken, and the implementations they put in to fix things, and all they do is break more stuff. Yeah, it's rough. I'm just gonna end this one here. I could probably talk about the issues. I've put enough hours into this that I could talk about enough of the issues um, that need fixed. I could write a punch list of bugs that need addressed and solutions that were more worse than the way things were before. Uh, but we won't go there right now. Visually, it looks great. They got a lot of great base systems. It just needs a very skilled, very wise um, team of people working on it for about 6 months to a year is my guess, to put it into a state that is good enough for public consumption. All right, y'all. It's really hard to say like on this because I imagine if you're a player, you don't like any of the bugs and the bad balances and stuff. And so when I say like, subscribe, it's I'll put the content out and stuff, but um, it's hard to thumbs up something when it's such a disappointing video, and now I get to spend the next 1 to 2 hours and this entire respec I have going here, okay, replacing gear. Okay, that's the fun that's coming for the next probably 2 hours, is replacing things, respecking, getting things back in the shape that they were in before, and then creating a stockpile of base backups in case it happens again, because it will happen again. Statistically speaking, with what we've experienced out here, every single one of the people in my company have experienced it, having to replace a full set of gear because of bugs or something of the like. Like this, I log out, I'm in total good shape, totally safe in a base, and I log back in dead in the middle of the ocean, and all my stuff is gone. So this is just one more of the lovely bugs to be found in Atlas. Alright, y'all. I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully it'll be more positive. Not that this one was trying to be negative. This is more... I was upset about losing this stuff, but at the same time, I tried to make the video more about the reality of what is Atlas. Atlas is a long list of bugs connected to a very beautiful client that looks really great. It plays really well when it's working right. Certain parts of it do. The rest of it isn't, just in dire need of more attention. All right. See you in the next.